Over the years, South African consumers have become rather wary of Chinese products, vehicles more so than anything else. Now, over the last few years, we have seen a rather large influx of Chinese automotive products into South Africa. The latest of these being the LDV T60. Now, they've just dropped it off here at the studio. This is the Max Elite, the top spec. And what we want to do is take a quick walk around and I'll give you my first off-the-cuff impressions what this vehicle is actually like. Then we'll catch up with you in a few days to give you the full driving impression. So first off the bat, this is a very, very good looking bakkie. They really have looked at the recipe and said, this is what we need. Big grille, LED headlights, low down fog lamps, and an overall chunky, sporty appearance. I really do like the way this looks. Round the back, pretty much a lot of the same. Nice and chunky, big plastic tailgate cover that says T60 Max. Tonneau cover, fashion bar, they really have looked at everything that makes this look like a fashionable suburban double cab. Now before we get inside, I want to show you something. That's solid. Getting inside, and all I can say is, wow. They really have appointed this Elite model incredibly well. Leather seating, leather steering wheel, I'm seeing paddle shifters, the switch gear is also, it's really, really solid. Some plasticky stuff, but you can sort of expect that in a double cab. It has an auto transmission for the paddle shifters. Outside of that, it's super comfortable, and you have this incredible new car smell. But I reckon we're going to spend a few days driving it, and we'll get back to you with just what it's like living with it. Well, it's been a few days and we've been piloting the new T60 Max around town, and I have to say that I am suitably impressed. The Chinese manufacturer SAIC that makes the LDV has really done their homework, and they have built what is essentially a very, very good bakkie. So under the bonnet, you're going to get a 2-litre bi-turbo diesel engine. That is mated to an 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox that has some control here with the flappy paddles on the steering column. Now the drivetrain will deliver 160 kilowatts, 500 Newton meters, and that is on par with some of the best double cabs on the market currently. Now, as far as the drivetrain is concerned, it is automatic all-wheel drive. So that means you have power going to all 4 wheels, and the computer system makes up its mind, sends the power where it needs to be. You can then also switch it into 4 high and of course 4 low. It does have automatic locking diffs, so if you ever get into a hairy situation, you can get out. The 4 wheels will sort themselves out. It is really, really comfortable. It's just like every other double cab. It's going to have a little bit of bounce in the back because of the live axle, but you could get in this and do a 10-hour road trip. And the best part is, while you're on that road trip, you're going to get 7.8 to 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers. That is unbelievable. I have yet to drive a double cab that gets anywhere under 10. Now, with this being the Elite model, it of course has all the bells and whistles. It doesn't have soft touch, typical hard plastics on the dash and on the door cards, but wherever your contact points are, it's the soft plush leather. It's really, really nice. And one thing that we have noticed as of late with Chinese vehicles is that they have mastered the art of low NVH levels. It is incredibly quiet, and the cabin of this vehicle is so well insulated against outside noise. And that sort of makes you wonder how they've been able to isolate the noise from the diesel engine, because this thing really, it does not sound agricultural. It is actually very quiet and very comfortable. Now, on the tech and feature side, on the inside, of course, you do have that giant 10.25-inch infotainment screen, which basically is your interface with all the doodads in the car. The audio system is really good. The interface is a bit glitchy. The resolution on the cameras is a bit ho-hum, but that's to be expected when you're building a bakkie of this type to a price point. The screen, on the other hand, is really, really nice. The animations from the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are spot on. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about benchmarking. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's when an automotive manufacturer basically puts a target on another brand and says, that's what we want to be like, or get as close to that as possible. With the LDV, it's a bit hard to tell because from the outside, you can sort of tell that they've benchmarked it against a Hilux. But on the inside, and as far as everything else is concerned, they really have benchmarked this against an Isuzu D-Max. You can see a lot of similarities. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because where the D-Max is at a certain price point, this comes in the same, but then it has all this other stuff added on. And that's a really good place to be. Now, with all that being said, mentioning the benchmarking, I want to use the D-Max as the benchmark in terms of price. Where the D-Max is going to cost you 740,000 Rand for the 4x4 X-Rider, the LDV T60 Max in Elite 4x4 is 790. But it does come with a whole lot more standard fitment and features across the board. So, like for like, yes, this is in the ballpark and it is proper. You get a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty. Having spoken with the folk over at LDV, their dealer network is growing, and they have also got their first shipment of first pick parts arriving. So you will be able to get bits and pieces and even body panels should you need them. That's a lot of peace of mind from a Chinese automotive manufacturer. So, in conclusion, the LDV. I think it's a really good product. And most people don't know that this brand has actually been on sale in Australia for well over 8 years. And if it can survive Australia, it can survive South Africa. Going back to what I said a few days ago, South African consumers naturally approach products from China with a certain degree of caution. And I'm not saying throw caution to the wind, but maybe be a little bit more accepting to the products, because they really have gotten their act together. Chinese automotive manufacturers have listened to what South African consumers want. They now have made sure that they have got dealer networks, they've got parts, and the vehicles are good. They're not going to break. I, for one, I'm sold. LDV is probably going to be right up there. But because they're so new, remains to be seen how they're going to do, but I have faith. I think this brand is going to be going places.
Search Auto Trader.